Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you on August the 31st. The year's 2021. Let's talk trading. Trading Friction Part 2 with Walmal. This video is for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine and differ from Walmal's. Good day, Walmal.
Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world.
Or evening. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, yesterday I was talking with the boys and girls and non-binary traders about trading friction and how there's things that might be on their chart, might be in their method, might be in their head that's causing friction, which I'm defining as that what's making it hard for you to achieve your profit. So how do you see trading friction?
Well, I was just thinking right now. I'll take a tangent and get to your point. Right now, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. Right now, we're starting to see the effects of the Hurricane Ida, which is now a tropical storm Ida, and nasty wind and rain and all such things. But one of the things that's been put up right now with tornado warnings. And so, what has this got to do with friction? Well, these tornado warnings, they're actually what they call friction tornadoes. And what that is that they got, because of the storm moving up in the upper atmosphere, it's moving at a pretty good clip, but the air below it is actually not moving at all. And what happens is you have those two air fronts actually hitting each other, and they cause friction, and they actually spin up a tornado, which causes all types of destruction. And so my point in this, in terms of trading, is that if we're not paying attention to friction, we can go and put ourselves into all types of trouble, maybe even disaster in trading. So we need to go and be paying attention to all the forces of nature that are out there in terms of our trading, and that means, paying attention. Are we doing what we're supposed to be doing? So what are some of the friction points for me that slow me down? Not paying attention to what's been going on. That's my biggest thing. I'll go and just see something and just be spontaneous and say, hey, there's a trade, jump into it and get, meanwhile, if I had gone and done my due diligence and done everything I was supposed to do, I would have never, ever taken a trade. So that's my friction point. And that's what gets me into trouble. When I have a bad day, that's generally speaking, when you go back and look, that's generally what it is. Or my other friction point, and I'm just being totally transparent here, is, what happens is I get into a trade, it goes against me, and I stick with it. I extend my losses for no apparent reason. Just extend my losses to the point in which I have to go and fight it and get myself out. And generally speaking, what happens is I wind up, taking other trades to try to go and mitigate the damage. And finally, when I get to break even, I'm able to get out. And at least at the end of the day, I haven't damaged my account. But man, it would have been a whole lot easier if it just would say, hey, you know what? Things happen, I could have done everything right. And that's the one thing about trading that's different from everything else in the world. And that is I can do every single thing right. I can go and look at the charts, read the charts correctly. I can sit there and use my indicators properly. I can go and use my charting software correctly. I can press the buttons even correctly, and it still can go and slam me in the face. And I know, Tiro, that you can go and attest to that. You've seen me do it, and I've seen you do it. That's just part of trading.
Yep.
But the friction point there is, okay, it's going to happen. So what do you do? How do you react to it? There's that old thing out there, that old saying out there. When you hit a loss, it's not not the loss that matters. It's how you react to the loss. So how are you going to react to that friction? What are you going to do to go and say, okay, the friction is just hit. I hit that hard spot. What am I going to do? Do I have a plan in place?
Mm-hmm.
Because if I have a plan in place, I'm good to go.
Yeah, and that was one of the friction points is there something that keeps you from executing your plan?
Yeah, and that's exactly right. and what can cause that is there are a number of things that cause it, and they're all, we want to go and talk about this whole thing, of managing your emotion and managing your brain, managing your gray areas, and a lot of times what usually causes us not to go and execute our plan is just that. What we've done is we've let our emotion go and overrule what our brain tells us we should do, what our plan tells us we should do. That's generally where most traders get into trouble. There's this big thing out there right now on the internet, people talking about, in order to go and make money in any type of trading, you need to be disciplined. They're not wrong. You need to be disciplined. What you're really saying is, from another perspective, is knowing, having this plan and just executing it so that you manage your emotion. It's okay to take losses. Today I've taken a bunch of trades today. I've been up for many hours now trading. I've taken 27 trades today. But here's the reality. Not every one of them was a win. I happen to, right now my efficiency on it is 74%. So that basically means I won 3 to every one that I lost. So, and you just have to go and say, hey, I'm going to get losers. But if I would have held on to that loss and said, I'm just going to go and I know that thing's going to come back. The problem with that is, what if it don't? What if you don't?
Yeah, that's the problem right there.
Then you don't have an account anymore. Now you're out of business. And you just have to go and say, you know what, I'm willing to go and take that small loss. And just say, just chuck it up to, that's just the way it is. And because that is just the way it is. That's just a rally. But, I'll admit to you folks, I just told TRO a few minutes ago, we didn't trade together this morning, but I've got 29.5 net pips, and that's taking my commission out, spread and everything else. So I got 29.5 pips. But it was hard going though, because those losses I took today they weren't substantial losses, but they were pretty big losses for me, and I followed my plan and took them out. But the nice thing about it is, at the end of the day, I've got almost 3 times what I need to make in terms of pips, so I can't really complain about it.
No, you better not complain.
And that's just what's going to happen. We're all going to go and do that. And some days are better than others. I mean, 2 days ago was, meaning Friday, was a fantastic day for me, where I didn't take any losses. And, but that's far from the standard.
Yeah. And, about trading friction, what about your trading environment? Is there anything that in your environment that could cause you to get off a track or slow you down?
If you go back and look at my original trading plan, which is posted out on the Facebook page, and it's probably even out on Crestlick as well. But if you look at that, one of the things I say is, on my screen, I've got my charts. Okay, I've got my charts. I don't have a web page up. I don't have any of that junk up and running, because they're all distractions. Now, what I will do is if I have a web page up, I'll have Forex Factory up for the purpose of looking for when news is going to come out, so that I don't get nailed with that, and I don't accidentally get into a trade like 2 minutes before news is released, and next thing I get slammed on it, because I do not like to trade during news. As TRO, as you know, I don't like to trade during news.
Right.
If news occurs, I wait usually 10, 15 minutes until it's over, wait for the market to settle itself back down, and then I'll trade off of whatever happens at that point.
Right.
Just because, how many times have we seen where the news is good for the U.S. and instead of the pound going down, the pound goes up. I know that you've said and I've said that they've fudged these numbers. Something's going on here. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm not going to get into conspiracy theory. But what I will say is that the markets will go and react to things that you don't expect them to react during those times. So I'm not going to have that. So that's another friction point. If you know that that's something that's going to happen, Why are you going to put yourself into that boat?
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, that's the whole thing, you know, and that gets back to that big D word again of discipline, and that's the whole idea, you know. Try to go. You know what the friction points are going to be. We all know what they are, you know, or at least we should know what they are. And I think every successful trader knows what they are because they know what they're good at, they know what they're bad at, and then what do? You avoid the things that cause you troubles, you know, and that's just what you got to do, you know. And Tiro, I know that you've seen me do this countless times where if I go and take a win, you know, or even a loss, generally speaking, I just, you know, a lot of times I'll go and get myself a cup of coffee, you know. Why? Because I just need to go and regroup myself at that point in time and just get ready for the next trade setup. I'm not just going to sit there and start analyzing immediately and potentially jump into a trade. And the reason why is because I know my personality type, and that is that I tend to react very, very quickly. I need some things in there that prevent me from going and reacting too quickly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and thing is and here's the thing about trading. You know, you're different than I am, you know, and both of us are different than probably every single person that may listen to this video because we're all different people, made differently, you know, and because we're made differently, you know, my distraction points may be different. You may be the type of person where you can sit there and have a YouTube video playing some type of comedy, you know, or something like that going on in the background, and not only doesn't it disturb you, it may even help you go and concentrate better. For me, no, I'm a squirrel. You know, if you remember the movie Flash, I'm a squirrel, and I just, as soon as I see a flashy object, I get attracted to it. So I got to have that all turned off.
Right.
So my trading desk, what's on my trading desk is my laptop, and I have two other monitors, my mouse, my phone. That's it.
What about your notebook?
What I do now is I have a clipboard, which is really my mouse pad, and I write everything down on that, and then I take that and then I transcribe it into Excel at the end of the day. Uh-huh. So I got rid of my notebook because I'm able to put it all onto my mouse pad. Mm-hmm. You know, but there's no distractions, nothing. You know, the messiest thing on my desk is the cords coming from the laptop to the monitor. You know, I don't want anything that's going to sit there and distract me from anything.
Right.
This is real money, serious business. And, you know, this is not, we're not going to Las Vegas, and we're not pulling the arm of the one-armed bandit, you know, sitting here in the lobbies. You know, that's just not what we're doing here.
Right.
And it's my money until I give it away. Mm-hmm. And I don't like giving it away. You know, and the thing is, you know, everybody says, well, I don't like giving it away either. Okay, I'm going to ask a harsh question now. If that's true, and if you're losing, why are you losing? Because you're giving it away. Right. So what is preventing you? You know, what's your friction point that's preventing you? Exactly. You know, from winning? Is it because you're not practicing enough? Is it because you're being distracted? Is it because, you know, a million other reasons? You know, I can't give you the reason. You need to do the soul searching.
Exactly.
I mean, that may sound harsh, but there's you know, sort of like that old book, you know, that came out, I guess, in the 80s, you know, Tough Love. Well, there's some tough love for you.
So, speaking of news, is there some news on the pound this hour? Because it just dropped about 20-some pips.
Yeah, there was, I don't know if it coming out this hour or it's about to come out. It's actually coming out it came out at 9 this morning, and that was HPI, and which is not usually that much of a mover. But at 10 o'clock, we have the consumer confidence coming out, and so that'll be interesting. You know, that's only an orange flag, but the thing is, because of what's going on in the world between the pandemic and what happened, you know, over in Afghanistan, and with, you know, all types of geopolitical things going on in the world, you know, that over the last couple of months, that's really moved the market. So there may be some position. That's my guess. Right. I'm not a fundamental trader, but that's just something that I pay attention to.
Right.
So you know, and everything comes down to, you know, where's the consumer in all of this?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's trying to figure out, is this, you know, we had a V curve recovery, you know, from the pandemic, but now because of the Delta variant, you know, is that going to go and squash that V curve, you know, and it turns into what they call a K curve?
And we're out of time. It's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the TheRumpledOne. Over.